Well, thank God, because I've stuttered like 6 times. So.
So let's start with the frog update. We're
Frog
gonna
up.
talk a little bit about 2021 in review. It's December 1st. A lot of people are kind of looking back on the year, thinking about how it was.
It
And
sure was.
it sure
Woo.
was.
It was a year.
It was a year.
Woo!
Oh God.
Yikes!
It wasn't a particularly great one.
I saw this video. It wasn't like incredibly funny, but it was like somewhat funny where this guy was like, this video will age poorly. And he had made it at the beginning of the year. And it was like a pretend look back at 2021. It was commenting on all these things that he just assumed wouldn't be true, And for the most part, it was correct. The one funny thing, though, is he was like, haha, it's so great that Donald Trump doesn't tweet anymore. And it was like, well, actually, that is true. So
That's kind of
small wins. But
God.
the pandemic, though, still going on.
You know what? Honestly, I kind of miss Trump tweets. Like, I miss, I guess I don't miss them. And I know that I only was ever amused by them because I was in that state of like absolute doomerism where it was like everything is bad, nothing matters. It's objectively hilarious. So like we were being led into that it felt like at times we were being led into oblivion by this like absolute buffoon who has tweets from like 2012 about like Kristen Stewart isn't good for you, Robert. She cheated on you. You can't trust her. So like I miss that. I miss being able to like in a way objectively like one of the worst presidents, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But like
and
just
no president
like
has ever been particularly good.
yeah.
Really, so
Yeah, but he was like up there and how horrible he was.
Yeah.
But I guess I miss like everything being so bad that you could like laugh at it, which I don't miss, but I do miss the jokes.
I definitely miss waking up and the president has tweeted at 2:30 a.m. the kind of unhinged rant that you expect from like a mid-sized, overly full of themselves Twitch streamer or something.
Oh my God.
Like it literally felt like the shit that you see in like Twitter drama threads posted by like 600 follower accounts.
I miss it.
And it's the president of the United States, and he's just like up at 3 a.m. for some reason, like, God damn you, Hillary Clinton. You so don't know me. You don't know anything about my taxes.
Like it only makes sense.
Donald Trump's cocaine to ketamine. That's what happened. Some nights he was just off his rocker.
There was something so like I guess terrifying in a way that all you could do was laugh about like you literally could like put your phone down for 10 minutes and come back and the president is like tweeted some like dick swinging threat about some like a trying to like start a war or escalate a conflict that it's like is already ongoing and like you never knew like what he would actually go through with because some of it he actually did, like some of the absolute crazy shit that everyone was like there's no fucking way he can do that, right? Like he did it. So I don't know, it really was like
China today.
you just like wake up.
We appreciate you, Omni.
We love you, Omni. You just like wake up in the morning and like the world has like been shaken by a delirious tweet at like 3 a.m.
What frustrates me about it is that Joe Biden goes on unhinged rants, and that if he would just tweet, we would also they would come they'd come at like 5:30 a.m. because he's one of those like get up really maybe like 4:15 a.m.
Right.
He's one of those get up really early.
He's like on the toilet.
Yeah.
Go play basketball with Barack.
Like I feel like when he was on the campaign trail, he would lose his cool a lot, and like yell at people, and just imagine if he was tweeting that he wouldn't be able to say, no, I said Jack, when he clearly called a guy fat.
Oh my God. It really is a disservice to the American people that they don't let him tweet.
No, they don't
Because-
Wasn't reading
make
the
him tweet.
teleprompter.
Actually, it's not even let him. They should force him to
like
tweet.
just like tape a phone to his hand. I wish that they didn't like keep Biden under wraps, because the only thing funnier in the dark way that it was funny, the only thing funnier than like the chaos of the Trump presidency is the like dementia, like old statesman Biden, who like people have this romantic idea, like Democrats do, I guess, of like him being like a grandpa or uncle Joe, is that what they call him, which is just
Oh God, don't no.
bizarre. The worst thing in the world to me. Like in
That
really
guy's
in
good.
reality, he's just like, I mean, you can hear it in the way he talks. Like he's not there. He's not mentally very acute. And
Is there a political figure that is?
no, but at least
I mean,
some of them
would
are not
say
due to old age.
Some of them, even some that I don't like, at least seem to have something on the ball. And no, I'm not about to say Pete Buttigieg. That guy just rambles in incoherent platitudes. Every
yes,
time he
Buttigieg.
talks, it's like nonsense. Same for like a lot of the other leading Democrats at the moment. But like every now and again, you'll see someone talking in Congress or something, and it's like, hey, that person seems to kind of know something.
Yeah.
But
then
it's
they're
rare.
delirious
It's
3
rare.
months later.
It's rare, but and then like it every time you see these congressional hearings, there'll be like one person that's like, yes, and then like pulling up like financial reports about the company that they're questioning and asking them the hard questions, and then the next 3 people are all like over the age of 100 and are like, do turtles swim or do they walk on land?
I think that they should give you ketchup packets at every restaurant. You shouldn't have to pump the ketchup out yourself. And that's
Do you remember when
what I'm here to represent my constituents about.
Do you remember when a box of shoes had a little prize in it?
When was that? When did that ever happen? I thought it was cereal boxes that had prizes.
Box of shoes of the
If
prize.
I find a prize in my box of shoes, I'm returning them.
Sometimes
I'm assuming
there
someone put it in there.
would just be a tiny little man in your box of shoes who would tell you to do bad things.
I think Joe Biden might be hallucinating.
Oh my
Tiny
god.
man in the box.
So
A
this
sock
year's
cone?
been hell, but one really good thing that happened to me is I got frogs this year. I've been thinking about
yes.
doing this for a couple of years.
Got frogs this year.
I'm just transitioning away from all
From
that other
Dementia Biden.
we can
I got
always
frogs
we
this
can
year,
just
that's
rip
not
on
funny.
Dementia Biden for the rest of the episode,
Yeah.
but I'm going back for the frogs for now. I got frogs this year. It's something I've been planning to do for a while, and it has brought an incredible amount of joy to my life. I have one terrarium with 2 frogs in it, and it is really great. And at some point, I'm trying to figure out how I could like set up a froggy cam that I could show during the streams. Maybe it'd be like our outro eventually. It's just like froggy cam for a little bit. Although I will say these are some elusive ass frogs. I definitely want to get bolder frogs for my next frogs. That's a requirement.
Older frogs.
Yeah, like more active
just
and less
imagine-
shy.
A frog trying to be a boulder.
Oh.
That was my
Or-
Sometimes one of them does
Sitting
do
atop
that.
a boulder.
idea.
Exactly.
But this was one of the only things that got my mental health through this year. Really. Was these frogs. I
That's
have
fair.
to say.
Sometimes you just need to touch a frog, you know?
Yeah, well I rarely touch them.
Well, I would imagine.
But I
They're
look
from
at them
Florida. You
all the
don't want
time.
to touch them.
Yeah, so the backstory behind these frogs is that these are actually rescue frogs that come to a plant nursery, and they come on trucks from Florida. They're chorus frogs, and they always see a certain number of them, and they were able to catch me a couple of these chorus frogs. And so chorus frogs are like a very understudied frog. There's actually very little information. And so that's been like fun. And at some point, I want to try to maybe document a few facts about them if I can while I
A
have
frog
them.
frog.
But
It can be
in
like the
general,
world.
it's
the
just
world
enjoyable to
now.
have them. Especially like now that like winter is setting in, the plant nursery is a bad place for a warm weather frog that has wandered far from its home. So they're doing
So
really
yeah.
well, and it's just a pleasure to have them. Also, I just want to say for the record, for anybody out there that watches this, frogs are super easy to care for. If you think that you might want a frog, get a frog because it's really, really easy to care for a frog, especially a small frog.
I wanted frogs for my entire childhood. And if I didn't have a dog who I know would just attack anything, I mean, he's a mini poodle, so he's got like short guy syndrome, and he is just like, if it moves, he's on it. And
Oh, those frogs would be done.
yeah. But I
Yeah.
think that in another life I would be a frog, snake, lizard kind of person.
Gonna have to get like a chameleon.
I would.
Never know it's in the room though.
I love
Like-
seeing like videos. I watch videos of like people like letting them crawl on their arms, and like they're just like the goofiest little guys. I love them so much.
Yeah, they're
That
fun.
and geckos.
Geckos are really fun. Oh, we had some friends a while back that had like a side business breeding and selling geckos.
Aw.
And I got to handle one of those geckos, and it was the most precious experience. They just have these weird little sucker hands that cling to you, kind of. And
Aw.
it feels a little strange, but it's also really cute, and they're very sweet little creatures. And you have to,
Little cartoon hand. It's weird. They've got like little puffed
yeah, it's
out.
very cartoony, little cartoon fingers. If I could do one extravagant, like super rich dork thing in my lifetime, it would be one time I heard about this, like not super rich, but just kind of wealthy guy that built his own house near this place where I lived, and had a 2-story terrarium.
Damn.
And he
That
had like,
sounds so sick.
yeah, and he had like big lizards in it.
That shit's got to be crazy to maintain, though. Like, you're probably seeing like some wild acts of nature every day. You wake up.
Oh yeah, I mean, there's a lot that goes into the ecological design of something like that, but also the nice thing about when you scale up terrariums is if you're creating actual bioactive terrariums that have soil in them, that have real plants in them, et cetera, that have things like that in them, then it processes the waste and stuff. Like the frogs that I have, I don't have to clean their terrarium because their terrarium's floor is a mix of coco coir and some other soil substrates and draining materials that between that and the plants, like their waste can just be absorbed by the tank. And so when you build like really big terrariums like that, they actually in some ways could need less maintenance if designed properly.
So the frogs don't experience any sort of like toxoplasmosis or whatever, like cats do with their fecal matter or whatever.
It can. If you have a simple terrarium, you have to clean the fecal matter. But if you have a living terrarium with bugs and plants and soil and things like that in it, then no, you do not have to clean their fecal matter out of the terrarium. I do clean it out of their water dish if they poop in there like fucking knuckleheads.
So you were saying like the root systems are more developed in this like 2-story terrarium you were talking about. Is the bottom like cement or something to support all that root system? Or
I
is
never
it
got to
built
see
into
it
the
in
ground?
person. I really wish I could tell you. I never got to see it in person.
God, I want to research this.
But
for some
I know
reason.
that it had a full-size living tree in it.
Jesus, like
That
a mangrove?
sounds so beautiful.
Right? I mean, it's literally the centerpiece of his whole house too. So pretty much almost anywhere you are in the house, you can see it.
A
I would
veritable
like-
Garden of Eden.
Kill. Damn, how much is a frog? I wish I could have frogs.
I think
Frogs
Kennedy
can
got them for
start-
free.
Frogs can start pretty inexpensive in terms of like the overall cost. I would say if you're gonna catch a frog in the wild, you want to make sure it is a frog that is not considered threatened or endangered in any way. But also, like, you might find an opportunity like I did where there's frogs that don't belong, that are out of their habitat and are generally going to die fairly quickly if not rescued by someone that come to this plant nursery. You know, you might be able to find something like that out there if you like look around, call around. Also, I will say if you like call your local pet shops, the cheapest frog a lot of times is like $15. So
Good time
that's not that bad. And usually that'll be for like something like a red-eyed tree frog, or like a White's tree frog. White's tree frog is a great frog, also known as the dumpy frog. Very cute frog. Just a
The what
big-
frog?
The dump trucky frog. if
It
you
literally.
will.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up this frog.
Oh wait.
we can look at Google image searches. That
Right,
won't get
YouTube?
us. That won't get us copyright strike.
The copyright system is a wreck. I think that we got a copyright on an old channel for literally having like 3 seconds of a Jake Paul song. Like
Ridiculous.
that's it, and our account
Yeah.
was gone.
Yeah.
This is a derpy looking frog.
Oh, I love them.
Look at
Oh,
that
God.
frog.
I don't love them.
Look at its face. It's so cute.
That's so cute.
God.
Commonly
looks so
bred and
serene.
kept frog. That
Looks so
if you-
angry.
It's just
you're
what you
looking
think
for
about when you
easy
think of a frog.
Yeah,
Like
it
that's a
really
frog
is.
right there.
That's a frog.
That's a frog
This is
for
the fish
sure.
you're waking up to in the morning.
I will say a frog like that can be a little more expensive to feed, though. If you can find a tiny frog like the ones I have, I spend about $15 every 2 to 3 months feeding them.
Holy shit.
Yeah,
Cheap.
about $5 a month to feed
Cheaper
them,
than a
and,
cat.
and I could spend less. I'm working on like breeding the fruit flies myself successfully enough, but I just
Can
buy
frogs
these
get
flightless.
diabetes?
Huh?
Can
I don't
frogs get
know.
diabetes?
I don't think so, but I don't know. But I buy these flightless fruit flies as their main food, and then I also get them pinhead crickets sometimes, and it's all very cheap. It's all very easy. So
Cheap.
the most expensive part is setting up the terrarium.
Mm. That's something that I probably would absolutely destroy if I tried to do on my own. But I will find videos of people doing it on YouTube later. And that's
There's a lot
basically
of-
the same thing.
Those are the most serene videos, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, if I could make any kind of videos, I would just make terrarium videos.
Or like
chill
fish
music.
tank. Like the fish tanks for like
Your house would
Mhm.
smell so weird though.
oh for sure. That's why
I
I
mean-
will enjoy the YouTube channels.
Got
And
like a cumulus cloud in your living room. What is this?
you have a potato plant growing out of a fish tank, and people come over, and it just smells like that here. It's fine.
I feel
Oh.
with 1 or 2 fish tanks, it's not that bad. Those can definitely stack up. Frogs don't have much of an unpleasant smell as far as I've encountered. I would say snakes are a little intense for me.
Mm,
You ever walk
No,
into a
no.
snake room? That smell is whoo.
That
I would
hits
love
you
to. Well, there
like a
is
brick.
there's a place at this like state park around here that has all of the like local snakes like on display, and when they're cleaning the tanks, like and there's also I usually attribute it more to there's also turtles in there, and
Oh, turtles are stinky little guys.
those fuckers stank. Yeah.
They poop
So-
all over themselves.
Oh god, horrible. And like
Turtles
a whole
are like-
pond of them, like a created pond in the corner of like a poorly vented room. Bad.
It's not like they can clean themselves either. Their limbs only go so
They're kind
far.
of stuck.
Yeah, if some algae starts growing on the bottom of your shell, it's just growing.
Yep, I guess
Just
I
is
got
what it is.
it.
Turtles are just swamp creatures.
Yeah.
I
mean,
like them, but yeah, I wouldn't have a bunch of turtles. I would maybe have like one small aquatic turtle at some point, because they're really cute.
Turtles
For some-
are beautiful. Go ahead.
For some reason, I'm thinking of this image of that sloth that's like all green. But
Yes.
apparently they grow moss on them and like stuff like algae and stuff like that. So like it's a natural thing of animals. I've seen like a snapping turtle with just a plant growing out of the back of its shell. It was weird. But it used it as camouflage and like just kind of moved along, stuck its neck out and tried to
That's
bite
wild.
my toe. And
It's
I
completely
laughed.
believable though. Snapping turtles are like virtually unkillable. They're like
They're crazy.
dinosaurs.
Little dinosaurs, yeah.
Yeah,
Murder machines too.
they're like dinosaur tanks though. Like it's like
They'll take your fingers off.
yeah. Be careful around snapping turtles. That's your turtle fact for today here on the Velvet Butcher Shop. By the way, that's what you're watching is the Velvet Butcher Shop. We are live Monday to Friday at 1 Eastern, and then the video and audio recordings are available forevermore. Sometimes I make clips. I'm still not getting so good at that yet, but I will get faster
We're
and
getting
better.
there.
You know, one of the ways that we can get better at this is with your support. Please subscribe, like the show, like every video. Consider heading on over to Patreon or
Consider us your
Ko-fi
friends.
/ Velvet Butcher Shop and throwing us a couple bucks so that we can keep improving the show. We appreciate you. We're gonna drop the intro music because we're 20 minutes in. We keep doing this later and later. But when we come back, we're just going to keep looking back on 2021 with one of my very good internet friends, Hell Baby from Bad Praxis. It's a Kennedy versus
I
Kennedy.
didn't know that was your handle. God. Okay.
Sorry.
I'm dropping the intro music. On the app about the if you look online, there's guides to breeding almost every kind of insect that you might want to feed to a frog. Just for anybody out there that again watches this for frogs. So looking back on the year, Joe's dying.
Oh no.
These are his final moments. We're looking back on Joe's life right now. Looking back on the year, we want to talk about some video games that we liked, some music that we liked, some stuff that we saw that we liked, and
None of it.
generally review some of the things that we enjoyed this year. Kennedy, you want to kick us off? Maybe we could start with music because I know Spotify Wrapped hit today. So everybody is thinking about the music that they listened to in the past year.
So in this last year, I think that like it's an unpopular opinion, but my favorite album I think that's come out is Lord's album Solar Power. I
Okay.
think it's really good.
There's a name I haven't heard in a while.
I'm like not her like number one fan, but probably like 50 or 60 or somewhere in there. Like I love her a lot. Like she's
No, no,
she's
I
like
am not.
she's I just think she like really eloquently expresses things that like a lot of people in my age group experience, and I think that this album did that. I think that the songwriting is really good. A
Oh,
lot of
she's
people,
younger than me.
yeah,
Yeah, she's really young.
she's like less than a year younger than me, but I feel
Wild.
very. I used to joke that she was my little sister.
Bom, bom.
But yeah, so I really appreciated that album and also feel very defensive over it because it got ripped to shreds by everybody. Um but I'd really recommend it. It's very cool. It feels like a lazy day at the beach, which makes sense. So I think that people should listen to it. Give it a chance.
Were there any albums that weren't new but that you heard for the first time this year? That you revisited a lot? Anything like
So
that also?
um Taylor Swift has been putting out the remakes of all of her older albums.
I wondered.
And yeah, I was trying to avoid talking about Taylor Swift because otherwise I could only talk
Two
about
for
Taylor
two.
Swift. So her albums Fearless and Red were re-released this year, and you know, Fearless came out when I was in the 8th grade and I was still a scene kid and pretending that I didn't like her. And then at 3 in the morning, it would like come up on my Pandora and I would like scream along to You Belong With Me like everybody else did. And then Red was the album that came out my senior year in high school. So it's like connected with all of these, like, that's all I listened to that year. So like going back and listening to those albums that were like such like the healthy chunks of my life during these periods, like, you know, I got to like relive those memories. It was a really cool experience.
Nice.
Nice. Joe, what about you? Were there any albums or songs or even new artists that came out this year that really spoke to you in particular?
Isaiah Rashad. I feel like Isaiah Rashad has really been on the come up recently.
I haven't heard that name in a
Album-wise,
while. That's cool.
I don't really know album-wise. I've been listening to a lot of random stuff on Spotify because I've been going through some stuff recently. You know, like you do during a pandemic and you have seasonal depression.
Mm, yeah.
I don't know. But my like songs have expanded into. Recently, I've taken to listening to Turbo's recent album, um, Bo Exotic, and it's a very good album, but it's also it's like country rap. It's the weirdest thing, and it's something I've never really thought about. I've heard of like folk metal and like bluegrass metal before, but this was a different kind of like it's super chill. It's like Beach House. It reminds me of Beach House sometimes, but it's got really depressing lyrics.
Every time I come on a show with Kennedy, I feel like I need to listen to Beach House, and I've never done it, and I don't know why.
Really,
Yeah.
I wish we were
I'm
allowed to
punished by
just
it
play
daily.
a song on the air and I would just pull up Beach House right now.
Yeah.
The way
Derail
everyone
the entire
describes them,
show.
I would probably love them, but I
non-DMCA.
it takes so long to get into music. I just got into Phoebe Bridgers this year. I'm like 2 or 3 years later than everybody else. But
That's one of the reasons why I asked, like, what if there were things that weren't new.
yeah,
You
I
know,
thought about
'cause
Phoebe Bridgers as
vibe
soon
with
as I
that.
stopped talking.
Yeah.
So really, like, I'll put on like, you know, like one of the mixes that are like generated by YouTube Music, and I found so much like alt country that I've been really liking, or like these like indie country artists that sort of fit that, like, it's like half alternative, it's like half like bluesy, and I think that it's really beautiful, and it's like one of my favorite kinds of music. And so I've been trying to, you know,
Straight
expand.
country hurts for some reason.
I
Every
was like
time.
raised on it, and so I don't choose to listen to it most of the time, but it like strikes
It
something in me.
chooses you.
Yeah, like, I feel it. I can't deny it.
Yeah, nothing about my taste in music this year should surprise anyone because it's shit that I tweet about.
All the time.
Mouth music
I feel that too.
across the board.
Little known fact about me is me and my friends on Discord, we listen to Neil Cicierrega's Mount
listen
album.
to it.
It's not just me. Vox is also equally obsessed. Shouts out to that
constantly
guy.
have that on mute. Any music bot we have in the Discord, I have it on mute.
Actually, it's really you're the outlier. Most people will just cue that up. You're just like, nah, I'm too good. I'm too good for parody mashup music of nostalgia songs.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
But anyway,
we'll settle that debate later.
The thing that came out this year that I was most into is
oh shit! Oh shit!
Owned. Damn, devastated.
Cheers.
What is it about those ones in particular? I'm not gonna say the name of the product because I think we might get in trouble if I do that potentially. But
it's everywhere.
What is it about those ones in particular? They always explode.
What is that?
It's a kombucha.
Kombucha.
I try so hard to get kombucha
I don't know how to pronounce the word.
I'm very kombucha pilled.
I want to be.
I
want to be one of those people.
Joe's also deeply kombucha pilled. Look at him. He's frustrated.
Kombucha pilled and covered right now.
Yeah, he's frustrated with it exploding on him, but he's still gonna drink it because it's delicious.
I'm not gonna drink it off my pants, but
you won't stop buying them though, will you?
I won't stop buying them. They're never gonna know.
Yeah, so Kai Kai put out an album this year. Kai Kai is this like kind of obscure band that I really love and think more people should listen to. They have a bad rap because they kind of started as a Christian band and then they moved away from that. And then a lot of people are like, but they're still a Christian band, right? And you're like, no. Also, actually, their music from that era is still good.
What's the name of them? Sorry.
Kai Kai. Kye. Kye.
Oh, okay.
That sounds like the first name of someone I would have gone to elementary school with here.
They're a really cool band, and they had gone off the map for a long time, and I had kind of assumed they wouldn't make music anymore. And then boom, they just dropped an album after like a bazillion years, and it's very good. It's called Aria, and it's a very weird and cool and chill album, and it's got a lot of like anxiety themes and like imposter syndrome and stuff, and it's awesome. So
it sounds really cool.
Yeah. And then also something not so new is I've been just getting deeper into my so far several year long Carly Rae Jepsen phase, and especially Dedicated. So Emotion I had listened to a lot, but Dedicated, that album I hadn't visited as much, but this year in particular I've been listening to that album more. And it's an amazing album. The majority of the songs are like these wonderful songs about being like deeply in love with somebody and like just cherishing that and stuff. And that's really cool. And like it's unusually positive music. You just don't hear music that's got that kind of positivity a lot, it feels like to me.
I need to get back into her because she's so much fun. Mm-hmm. Like she really is one of a kind in music right now, and she just makes like it's not generic pop music, it's just like pop music like to the core, and like
Yes.
what and it's so good, and I love her so much. And yes, Emotion did change my life, and so I should venture further into her discography.
Yeah, I think a lot of people kind of discount her because on first listen, some of the songs do sound kind of like a little bit generic pop, and it's clear that sometimes she's trying to write a hit for the radio, you know, and like sneak that into the not on Dedicated though, really,
Mm.
but on like Emotion, like the I Really Like You song, like that's kind of a vapid hit. It's a okay
Yeah,
song, and I don't hate it, but it's like probably the worst song on the album. And it's just if all you heard was that come out on the radio, then you wouldn't think much of her as a songwriter.
no,
But if you hear some of her other songs, like the songwriting is actually like really incredible. It's moving, it's deep, it's sometimes like extremely profound. And she really puts a lot of the work into the craft herself too, and I think that shows, and that's part of why she stands out from so many other pop artists, for me especially, but also to others, is because you know, not that you have to be like a real ass musician to be a great pop star, but like it can help, you know.
right.
And she is a real ass musician and composer who like dedicated her life to writing great pop songs and
The
knows what
dream.
she's doing.
I mean, as much as people complained about her, she's been like a consistent fixture in pop music for almost a decade, which isn't that easy to do.
Yeah,
You know?
no, it's not.
Yeah, staying that relevant for that long in a field that is very fleeting, I
Mhm.
guess is the word for it. Or like not many artists stay in that field, it seems like.
Right.
They seem to shift out into something else or go single, like, or split up the band. It's usually something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the way
Well-
things happen in that grouping.
And again, I think part of it is her actual dedication to the music, because part of what makes her career work is that her albums have matured with her. She's not just writing the same albums that she wrote when she was like 19 and just trying to break in, you
Right.
know? Like she keeps changing her sound and her style. And like you think back on like some of the great pop artists of our time, like someone like Prince. It's like, how did Prince stay relevant for so long? He changed it up. He matured his sound. He adapted to the times and things like that.
Right.
I think if Carly Rae Jepsen continues to do that, then like she could have any number of bangers ahead of her still.
But then there's people like Machine Gun Kelly who changed too much and switched genres too much. and
Okay, but
kinda need
Machine
to
Gun Kelly is
slow
going
their roll
through
and not insult old artists.
I love the Machine Gun Kelly pop punk album. It is my deepest shame. My worst sin is that I think it kind of slaps.
I mean, it does, but then he goes ahead and just like, ruins his career over and over again by like screwing with somebody who is just not to be screwed with.
Mm-hmm.
Slipknot?
Well, but to be fair, he's
no.
actually made his career off of that. Like his feud with Eminem, a lot of people thought, oh well, Eminem won. No,
did.
no. Objectively, Machine Gun Kelly won, and let me tell you why. It's not about who rapped better. It's about whose career improved or like gained something from it. Eminem gained nothing from that feud. If anything, it made him look a little bit petty,
Mm-hmm.
and it made him
It
look
did
a
kinda
little
make him
bit
look petty.
childish. Like you're an old ass man now. You shouldn't still be like doing a feud this childish, you know?
Right.
And whereas on the other hand, Machine Gun Kelly, that boosted his career so much. That feud made him, and he says it all. People ask, I think it was Hot Ones. Yeah, it was Hot Ones. The guy asked him, was it tough getting roasted by Eminem, basically? And he was like, I mean, Eminem's bars were great, and like he did hit me with some hard bars, but like everybody wanted to talk to me after that. I was blowing up everywhere. He's like, I thank Eminem every day, basically. So even
Hot
Machine
Ones-
Gun Kelly himself knows that feud made him and says it.
Hot Ones is Sean Evans, right? Sorry,
Yeah.
didn't mean to diverge from the thing. That makes sense. Like I didn't really think about it like that. I felt like I don't know. I listened to those lyrics a little too closely and was just like, oh, like you kind of got torn apart, Mr. Kelly. You need
If
to
you're
step
just being like
back.
a hip hop head about it, and you're just like the bars, you
The
know,
bars. Yeah, that's exactly
like
what it was.
like
Dude.
you
Had
you,
my Beats from Dre headphones in.
you would think that Eminem probably won. Although I will say that actually I thought that Rap Devil was a clever response that Eminem didn't fully answer. Like, I don't know. I think Machine Gun Kelly kind of got the last word in how, like, especially in how, like, the media portrayed it. Like, Rap Devil kind of got to be the last word in that feud for a lot of the major outlets. And then it kind of went down to, like,
So
just
bad.
the hip hop mags talking about, like, the diss tracks that, were still coming out after that or anything like that. And so, like, I don't know. It's just it's an interesting thing, but it's like Machine Gun Kelly kind of got the limelight through that feud. But anyway, Machine Gun Kelly is going through a very specific phenomenon where you get Me Too'd and then you become a sappy artist.
Yes.
Person in the chat.
So he's not just changing genre for any reason. It's for one specific reason.
It's to run away.
Just
Run
like that
away, Machine
G-Eazy
Gun
guy.
Kelly.
It's the same
God.
phenomenon. It's always the same.
It's so funny how predictable it is and how like fully like manufactured it is. Like it was such a smart thing so people have tried to, and I think I mentioned this last week when we spoke, but like there are people who are trying to like bring back like dead scenes of music, right? And there's a lot of hunger for like shitty pop punk because there's a lot of like sappy, stupid people that are like mad at the world with like nothing else to like think about other than like I fucking hate this town and my dad and
I have
all the
my
like traditional
nihilism.
pop punk
Don't
stuff.
want to go to church again.
And like so I think that it was such a brilliant move. And also the entire time that you both were talking about like who is a winner and who is a loser, I just kept thinking like he's with Megan Fox now. So like you kind of like
I mean,
hate
is
to
that
say it. I mean, they're kind of insane, but she's very pretty. So
you know
Crazy
they're
people.
having crazy sex though.
oh yeah, terrifying.
Probably.
Like
Makeup sex is probably fantastic.
Like that's that Angelina Jolie fucking what's his name? Billy Bob Thornton. We're on way too much drugs and fucking everywhere energy. And like, you gotta respect that to some extent because clearly they're having a good time.
they're
Eminem, on the other hand, he's an angry old man. I don't know if the quality of his sex life is good. It's probably bad.
I'd imagine.
If it was really good, he'd stop making albums.
Yeah, I feel like on the scale of I feel like in terms of who fucks and who doesn't fuck, Eminem has certainly lost. I don't think Eminem fucks.
Yeah, I don't believe that Eminem fucks.
No.
You gotta be at dementia age.
Yeah, no.
I will quickly, before we wrap up the music section and then maybe talk about video games or movies or something, I will quickly shout out Beach House. Not that we haven't a little bit already, but it's just specifically because they do have a new album on the way, and there's some songs out from it, and they sound good. And I'm excited.
So it's the perfect time for me to get into them.
Yeah, because they're gonna tour next year, assuming the Omnibot variant of coronavirus doesn't kill us all.
Roll out.
But yeah, So just it's a great time to get into Beach House. Their new album seems like it's probably going to be pretty good.
It's not a great time to spill kombucha on yourself.
Beach House is a band that doesn't change a lot over time, but sometimes that just works, you know?
Yeah. One of my favorite artists is Lana Del Rey, and God love her, she makes the same album every time.
Over and over.
Every time.
I love it. And I love it. I'm a sucker for it.
Really?
Yeah. Listen, I know she's so stupid. I know. I
Stop
just
making the
can't
same
help
song.
it. I can't help it.
For the love of God.
I love it.
Write some different lyrics. Be happy. Stop being depressing.
But
That
I
is
love
one
it
thing.
though.
I will say, like, some of my favorite artists, I feel bad for them sometimes, you know? Like, just as people, I'm like, damn, you still writing songs that sound like this? Damn.
Who hurt
Damn.
you like
Who
this?
hurt you?
Yeah, Kid Leroy is never coming back from this one. Just depressing sounding all the time. Okay.
One of my favorite things about Taylor Swift's music in the last couple of years has been that she's like in a happy relationship, so she made up a love triangle in her head to like get sad and write songs about. She's like, I'm too happy. I have to like come up with a story that inspires my breakup songs. God, I love
God.
her. I love her.
What?
She came up
Sociopathy.
She came up with a love triangle between three people. Like a boy playing two girls like against each other, and wrote songs from their perspective.
Is it from both
I mean,
girls?
listen, if that
It's
works,
from everybody's perspective. She writes a song from the guy's perspective, and every person that listened to it was like, for a minute, they were like, wait a minute, is she gay? And every Taylor Swift fan lost their mind for a minute.
got excited for
Yeah.
a day.
Oh, you would not believe the Gaylors, the gay Taylor stands, and how God,
Well, I feel bad for them now.
or in particular people who think that she was in love with Carly Kloss. And like, I knew a person who like made a PowerPoint presentation and like would try to talk people through how she's in love with Carly Kloss. It was a wild time.
Twitter
And
was
they're-
the Wild West back in the day. What
Oh,
happened?
and they are convinced of it. Like you
Now it's
can't
like
tell them different.
Nuketown.
Like,
Don't
she's-
like this place.
Like she's been with her boyfriend for like years at this point, and they're all just like, it's a sham, it's all fake. She's secretly
all
in love with
fake.
Zoe Kravitz. You guys can't tell me nothing.
Damn.
I wish I believed in anything that much.
Seriously.
To make a
He's so sad.
just to make a PowerPoint, like to be that passionate about like a pop star, like you have to have so much energy to like feel that much about
I
something.
understand that, but have passion.
I do.
Enjoy life.
Just I'm not that passionate about Taylor Swift of all things. Pretty
I'm like
passionate.
a life coach right now. I need to stop.
It was for the bit. I'm fine.
Oh, okay. My kimono is finally dry. My kimono Joe.
Yeah, yeah, you got it. Let's we'll do as our final segment a look back on some video gaming of the past year. Because we all like video games.
Who's amongst us doesn't enjoy a video game?
Who's amongst us, especially during the pandemic, you know, I got much more
I've played
back
one.
into gaming.
I've only played once ever.
You only play video games once?
It was with you. The fucking or Among Us.
Oh, that's the only time you ever
Amogus.
played video games was Amogus?
Well, I mean, that's the only time I played Among Us is with you. I thought we were just talking about Among Us for a second. My bad. I overshot that one. Oh,
Amogus was a leading video game for a minute.
oh, I'm gonna pull a
It's
muscle.
fun.
Yeah, it's pretty fun still sometimes.
It's Mafia, but with cute little bean guys. And I like the cute little bean guys. I'm a big fan. And yeah, so in this last year, out of nowhere, my friends and my boyfriend and I got really into Fortnite. Like, which I used to think that Fortnite would make me feel so old and so confused. And I'm very ashamed to say that I'm actually really good at Fortnite. And I wish that I wasn't good at Fortnite.
Are you getting like competitive?
You know, sometimes I venture out into the world of not like competitive, like actual competitions, but like playing in like the competitive mode and like trying that stuff. I have almost spent money on Fortnite,
No,
which I
Stop
stopped myself.
jeez.
I get sucked up into stuff like that. I spent money on a mobile app game. I spent like $75 of my like student loan return on
What?
a mobile app once. On a mobile game.
I mean, I guess if you got
Fortnite developers watching this, like,
I got
Yeah,
those V-Bucks
absolutely.
in my pocket.
I simply don't allow myself to make in-app purchases or in-game purchases anymore because I will become a monster.
yeah, it's fair.
I love to waste money.
I don't. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I might be
The
just
most
very frugal.
healthy person ever. I don't know what's wrong with me. I love to be a cautious and thoughtful spender instead of buying $17 in fucking V-Bucks. That's probably not a good move.
That seems like a very brash purchase.
And that's why I put the credit card down.
$17 get you in V-Bucks.
Can
What
you
is the transference rate at this point in time?
Not a lot of V-Bucks.
are you
that-
good enough at Forkknife to do the like build a tower when you see
I'm
an
getting
enemy
there.
thing?
I'm getting there.
Damn, that shit blows my
it's
mind.
hard.
When I watch videos of people do that on like YouTube, I'm like, what's happening? I feel like my brain is short circuiting.
I was like, my mind doesn't move fast enough to do that at first. That's what it felt like. But I'm getting okay at it. And by okay,
I swear they have like something attached to their finger that's making them click faster because it's just, or they've taken like way too much Adderall.
You know what it makes me think of? That
Going
Lucy
ham
movie
on that mouse.
where her eyes just like unfocus and she like puts her hands on the keyboard and every single thing happens all at once. That's what it makes me think
the
of.
whole tower in less than 2 seconds.
Exactly.
How did you do this? Hacks.
I unlocked the other 90% of my brain just to play Fortnite. I don't use it for anything else, just Fortnite.
Well, but it's like there's like a pattern recognition aspect to that part of it where it's like you're not just like consciously deciding and then this and then this and then this. It's more like you're like, I know the patterns, I'm gonna build these patterns kind of thing.
Right.
Which like, I mean, like, you know, how do you get fast at chess, right? Or something like that. You know, how do people get so fast? It's all the same kind of pattern recognition stuff. And so that makes sense to, like, I could see how like my brain could eventually be trained to do it, but it's also like, damn.
Oh, I used to feel so old when I watched it. I used to feel like I was like, there's no way that my brain could possibly process this. And I hate that it feels like an accomplishment that I'm better at Fortnite now. Because it most certainly isn't. But, you know, it's something.
It's something.
Hey, you know, video game skills are almost like real skills.
Yeah. I could probably almost like
I've played plenty of survival craft. I can survive in the wild. I can build my own house. It'll be fine. I don't have any schematics.
I
Shot me
mean,
in the woods. I watch Naked and Afraid all the time.
listen, I still think if you took somebody with just straight out of an office job with no experience and put them in the woods, and then you took somebody with the same level of experience, except they've also played over 1,000 hours of survival crafting games, I would put the money on the person that's played the 1,000 hours of survival crafting games.
I would put money on neither because they both die.
Yeah, but which one do you think would live longer?
Which one are you going to find first? It's kind of what it comes down to. Which corpse do you stumble across?
No, come on. The person that's playing survival crafting games, they would be wrong about a lot of the specifics, but they would have an idea of how to try to keep themselves from dying. Like, I need to create it or find a shelter. I need to secure food and water.
You find them like dead next to a makeshift crafting table.
Yeah, exactly. Like you find them dead next to a makeshift water filter. And but they lived like 5 days longer than the other guy. That's what I think.
We don't know the training of the other guy because he's been
I just said no. I set this scenario up just so you couldn't try to pull this shit on me. They have the same level of experience, which is virtually none. They work in an office job. They're from the suburbs. They've literally never seen a wild animal or been in a room that was not predominantly white.
Okay. I'm seeing this. It's coming to fruition in my mind. Yeah, the gamer would survive a little bit longer, but it's like an hour.
Yes, thank you.
They spent all that energy creating a crafting table and died of exhaustion and fatigue, whereas the other one died just because.
He got bit by the wrong mosquito and just immediately taken out.
Like, I feel like if you've played literally thousands of hours of survival crafting games, that you would at least try to make a makeshift axe or make a makeshift bow or things like that, and maybe try to come up with a trap that could catch an animal or something. And whereas the other guy, you're not going to just have those ideas if they're not already in your head, I guess, to some extent is what I'm really getting at. But again, a lot of the specifics would be wrong. So you would be like, ow, I punched a tree and it didn't fall down and my hand is broken.
It doesn't work in this world.
So when I tie a rock to a stick, it doesn't automatically turn into an axe. It's kind of fucked up. What do you think about it?
Where did I get this twine from? Oh wait, that's my shoelace. I can no longer use my shoe. God. There's so many things you could think of for that scenario and just ruin everybody's day.
Did you play anything else besides Fork Knife?
Far too much Animal Crossing. Far too much.
That ain't bad.
The update came out, so it's a whole new game. And so I had gotten bored with it, and my island was kind of ugly. So I have been fixing it. A lot of it was half done. Yes. I like the weeds. My island is overgrown on purpose. And
that's one of the problems I have with that game. It appeals to me as a concept. But first of all, I don't own a Switch, and I don't have a lot of other reasons to buy a Switch. That would be a big expense just to play Animal Crossing. And then second of all, that game just abuses you. You don't log in for a few weeks, and all your islanders are like, "Where the fuck were you? Shit!"
I thought you hated me.
People
cockroaches in your house. Your hair looks like shit.
Yeah, fucking. There's weeds growing up the floorboards of your house and shit. It's all fucking over, and you're just damn. I didn't play for 4 days. Animal Crossing.
I can need some space.
I was on vacation.
And,
I was
like-
on my honeymoon. I thought I'd put Animal Crossing down for just
And
a few days.
At a certain point, it's almost like work. Like you feel, or like, you know how like you might like stop working out when you get sick, and then you feel guilty about it, but then that like forces you to like push it off more, and then by the time that you try to get back into it, you're like already fucked up, and you have to like work back to the place where you. It's like that, but with a video game. So no actual benefit, just anxiety, just sad. no real benefit. But I've been playing them for like my whole life, so
Yeah.
I'm a big Animal Crossing fan.
Fair enough.
I like just putting furniture in a house.
Hmm
It's a fun thing
sure.
in a video
We've
game.
been
I don't know.
enjoying Wildermyth recently.
Oh yeah, Joe got into Wildermyth finally.
Mm.
My
I'm a
game
big
of the
fan.
year.
Oh,
What's that? What's it about?
Wildermyth is like, it's a little bit like
it's a little bit of
XCOM-ish,
everything.
or a little bit like Fire Emblem in certain ways, but it's like a tactical RPG storytelling game that like takes place over many generations. And so like your heroes like will like get old, and some of them will like die or retire, or things will happen, and and then they can also be added to like your legacy, and then they can appear in future myths again. So like your favorite characters can just come back over and over and appear in different like myths and stories. And it's just a really, really fun game
Sounds
that
nice.
is yeah, like really.
You can play it
I'm
with
not
up
a
to
big
5 people.
RPG person, even, honestly, like in terms of video games. I don't play a lot of like video game RPGs, but
Yeah.
this one is good.
Because I mean, the story is different every time. It feels like you don't
Yeah.
get the same events or like same thing every time. And I
Yeah,
mean, it's a roll of the dice. And I'm
exactly.
probably going to go back and play those campaigns again, like on a higher difficulty at some point. So, like, I don't know. The whole game is the concept of it, the art, and like the style is very chill. Like, you can relax while playing this game. You can do homework. I've been doing homework while playing this game. I took a quiz and like I got a 10 out of 10 on it, and was just like, oh, wow.
Hell yeah.
Don't have to retake that one.
So what's it called? Wildermyth?
Wildermyth.
Wildermyth, yeah.
Yeah.
That even sounds sick.
WILDERMYTH.
All right.
That's, you got it.
I will have to check it out because it sounds super cool.
Yeah, that's my game of the year for sure. I've been playing a lot of that.
I think it's the
And,
same artist for Alchemy Craft or whatever. Alchemist
Potion
Simulator. I can't remember what the name of the game is. I'm losing my mind. Really. The kombucha's soaking in.
Yeah. Also played some Kerbal Space Program.
Can't get
Still-
behind that game.
still trying to get super pro at that. I got into that. I was telling y'all before the show, during the pandemic, had a lot of time on my hands suddenly right at the start of the pandemic, and I thought, I'm gonna finally learn how to do space physics. I don't care how hard it is. I don't care how bad I am at it. I'm gonna learn to do it, and eventually I did.
Hell yeah.
I'm still
When
not
am I
like
gonna use this?
I'm still not like incredibly pro. Like, this is still like things that I can't do, but like I can build a cool space station. I can land stuff on other planets. I'm still struggling to get to the far away things, but we'll get there.
Eventually.
Eventually. So it's been fun.
Yeah.
It's been a pretty chill year for video games, honestly. Some good stuff came out, and I've
Chill
just
for
been
video games and
enjoying.
nothing else.
Yeah,
There
it's
wasn't
been like
a Cyberpunk 2021 incident.
I think that game looks cool. Hot take.
It's
Probably
cool,
won't play
but
it.
it'll give you a stroke if you don't have the right settings on.
That's honestly why I wanted to play it. I saw some like the glitches on Twitter, and that's art.
It
Sorry.
hurts. It hurts your eyes. I'm not gonna lie. You start shifting into the ground and things start making different colors.
No.
And you start seeing different like things that are supposed to be there that aren't there. Cops start flying.
Oh, I mean, I
Chaos
won't make any jokes
ensues.
about that.
Chaos
I don't know.
ensues.
I one of my favorite things to do is like fuck myself up in video games. So like if I have the opportunity to fuck myself up in like a really glitchy way that like fucks up my computer, I'm in for it.
Well, I mean, you'll like this game then. And you'll
Hell
probably
yeah.
like my camera. I don't know why it keeps doing this.
Oh god, I was having so many problems with mine earlier.
It keeps flickering.
You would get along well with my friend Wobbly Python, good friend, and he's a Twitch streamer, and
Yeah.
he lives in my house, and he loves video games that like give him vertigo.
Yes. I
Like
want to feel like I'm on a
if he
roller
can play
coaster.
like an airplane simulator that makes him feel fucking sick, then that's like that's all he'll do all day until he has to lay down.
Yep. Alternately, just like watching like flight videos and like videos of people jumping out of planes in first person. It'll give you the same feeling, and
Yeah.
I do enjoy it.
One other big gaming thing that I got into this year that actually is related is I got a driving wheel, and I've been
Ooh.
I
playing
forgot about this.
racing simulation games, specifically Dirt Rally. That's the
sounds so
Dark
sick.
Souls of racing simulation video games, basically. Rally racing is a type of racing where generally there's no other cars on the track with you. It's just a matter of going as fast as you can in a situation where you should not go fast. So, like for instance, one of the popular situations for rallying is like gravel roads in the forest, a situation where you should not go fast, but yet under the right circumstances, you could try to go fast because you're insane. And so I've been playing a lot of Dirt Rally over the last year with my racing wheel. I think I could
Gonna pull it up from under the
I can
desk.
show y'all. This is the and
Oh,
then I have
hell yes.
pedals and a gear shifter, and it's sick as fuck.
That is so sick.
You're just
Oh my
such a
God.
nerd.
I think it's a worthy investment.
Yeah, I got a really good deal. Honestly, these days it's a much cheaper hobby to get into than it was like a few years ago. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, but it used to be something that it was like minimum $500, and you
Right.
would be getting like relatively shit
Less
equipment.
expensive than driving like that too.
But yeah, but I got my entire setup for like about $250, and the
Hell yeah.
quality of this equipment is actually really good. The wheel has force feedback. It turns 900 degrees. Like it's insane. I have a shifter, like I said, that's the whole 9 yards. It's one of the coolest things I've ever bought. My only problem really is that my computer is not quite powerful enough to run these games super well, and so
Oh,
like
no.
if I play Dirt Rally
Every
for
time.
more than like 2 hours, it's gonna crash. I need to eventually upgrade. I'd really love to build like a driving sim rig, just a dedicated thing that you like sit in.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is so sick.
I'm gonna put my bed in it, and maybe a little pillow at the top
A
of
mini
it.
fridge.
No. Go to the car junkyard and get a actual race car seat.
I
Oh,
was just
shit.
suggesting using like a kid's bed. I'm sorry.
There are those race car beds. You could probably turn one of those
That's
into.
literally what I was suggesting.
It's not a good idea, but it is an idea.
I think it would be a great
It might
idea.
be too tall.
Yeah, that was a big purchase, especially just for a fun thing. But like, it's something that I've wanted for so long. And my partner was also into the idea, so we just We just did it.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you just gotta
Just
bite
gotta
the
do
bullet.
it. Just gotta go for it. Well, this has been a very fun episode
Yes.
of
Very
Velvet
chill.
Butcher Shop. Kennedy, thank you for being back here again. I
Thank
hope
you for
we'll
having me.
continue to have you regularly because this is a lot of fun.
Mhm.
And what else you got going on? Let everybody know real fast.
So you can check me and my friends out at twitch.tv/badpraxis. And also, we do have a YouTube channel called Bad Praxis. It is new. We did just upload a clip last night. It is about JFK.
Ooh,
It does have 31 views, so we're kind of famous.
damn, that's crazy.
We're doing numbers, 31 people.
Numbers.
So yeah,
Number
to
machine
like
goes.
and subscribe would be super chill if anyone would like to. And thank you for having me on. It's always so much fun.
Yeah. Thanks everybody for watching. This is Velvet Butcher Shop, Monday to Friday. A soft touch on hard subjects, or maybe it's sometimes the other way around. We appreciate you tuning in, liking, subscribing, all that stuff. I'm sorry that I have to put on YouTube voice and do all the promo, but that's the only way that you actually make it in this world. So thank you to those of you who follow through on these requests and hit that like button. You're appreciated. And
I started waving too
we'll
soon
see
again.
you tomorrow.